I'm happy to introduce Dora Stiefelmeier, who lives and works in Rome. She graduated in sociology from La Sorbonne University. Since January 1979, she has collaborated with the Peroni Gallery, of which she became co-owner in 1988. In 1991, Dora Stiefelmeier contributed to the birth of Zerinzia, Associazione per l'Arte Contemporanea, of which she is a founding member and artistic director. From 1998 to 2002, together with Mario Pieroni, she was a consultant for contemporary art at the Accademia de France at Roma. From 2003 to 2005, she was a consultant for contemporary art for the Port Authority of Civitavecchia. In 2001, RAM Radio Arte Mobile was created, a prototype of a virtual space dedicated to the elaboration of sound research that sees radio as an autonomous artistic space. She holds the position of president, and on 25 February 2013, she was honored by the President of the Republic as Commendatore della Repubblica Italiana. It's a great honor in Italy, very much. Since 2017, she has been a member of the Board of Directors and Scientific Committee of the No Man's Land Foundation, of which RAM, Radio Arte Mobile, is a founding member. Since 2022, Dora Stiefelmeier has been a board member of the Kukrarna Gallery, City of Ljubljana. And we also want to thank Dora Stiefelmeier for the gift she has done for the Academy of Fine Arts of Rome. Now, thanks to her, we have a fantastic sound museum. Let's welcome Dora Stiefelmeier.
Thank you for this introduction. I was asked to speak in English. I will do it. My English is not perfect, but I apologize for eventual misunderstandings. Well, I will speak always in plural. It's my way of being. I like to work in partnership. I like to work in a collective way. I think protagonism is a little bit over historically. And well, so I will always talk about we, and it's a group of people with me, around me, together with me. I was asked to talk about the archive. We made a donation. First of all, I would insist that the memory is very important. It's very important. We think there is no evolution and there is no revolution without memory. But it's very important how you rule an archive, what you are doing with an archive. And that archive is not an archive. It makes no sense. You cannot put in a safe an archive. An archive has to be at the disposition of people consulting. It has to be open. We think an archive has to walk, to move, anyway, to valorize the material, and in this case, we also hope it will be enriched by the new owners and protagonists of the archive. So this was, in a way, also the reason we decided to make the donation. Beside our very old friendship and partnership with Cecilia Casorati, we know each other for more than 30 years. Of course, it's always between persons. This is normal. But we were very interested in the Academy here because we think an archive has to go to young people, has to go to students, to researchers, Italians, and people from abroad. I'm happy that here some people from abroad is also following this kind of symposium. So that's why we decided to make this donation. I will come later on to the point of the archive. I just want to let you know how we entered this universe of radio and then of sound. It was in a totally casual way, because we were first as a gallery and then as Serinci Association for Contemporary Art, and with all the other things we are doing, we were concerned with visual arts. And then in one exhibition we organized in the south of Rome, more than 20 years ago, there was a project dislocated in many places with 20 artists, but one here, one there, and we said, oh, it's a pity we don't have a radio. Ah, a radio. Good idea. Should have a radio. He had no idea. But at the same time, there was a contest, a European contest about new technologies, and we were very naive. We said, oh, let's try. We make the proposal of a radio, and we won the contest. And this was the beginning. And then we said, but we want to be a web radio, we want to be for everybody in the world, and we want to be mobile. And so we made Radio Arte Mobile. A radio, that is our passion. Arte is our content, and mobility is our strategy, very RAM. This is our way of being. And right after, the project was very nice because we created a van decorated by an artist, Federico Fusi from Siena. And on the van, there was a computer connected with a server, and the computer was 25 kilos. The weight was 25 kilos, 20 years ago, not 200 years ago, 20 years ago. 25 kilos was a monster of a computer. And this van went around crossing Europe, and there was always an art critic, a sound technician, and nearly all the time also a young artist. And went to Ljubljana, went to Vienna, went to Lüneburg, to Stockholm, to Brussels, to Paris, traveling and contacting people we knew from our profession, and making connections and creating kind of a network. After 1 year, the program was over, so we looked for other locations, and then we had a headquarters in Rome, where we still are, and we did a lot of things, 20 years of activity. But, well, that's the way it started. And nearly all the things we did started in a casual way. You just go and move, and I think this is also true for archives. You just go and move, and things grow up. So let's come back to the archive. You see it here, MPDS audio archive. MPDS stays for Mario Pioroni, Dora, Stiefelmeier, because more or less in all these things we were always present. And it is an effort we did together with Claudio Libero Pisano, who is a teacher here in the Academy, to unify archives, sound archives from various from various organizations we ruled. So we have 20 years of RAM. I will leave here. It is 20 years of RAM, and of course with all we did, there is a lot of recorded sound. I forgot one thing. After making radio, right after, we were very much seduced by sound, and we created also some sound art museum together with 3 people, Cesare Pietro Justi, Lorenzo Benedetti, and Riccardo Gianni, an artist, an art critic, an art historian, and a composer. And we collected through an open call a lot of file audios, and this made immediately very rich our sound archive. Then we had sound registrations, sound recordings from Zerinzia, from the activity Zerinzia had done and is still doing. Then we had even sound recording from the Galleria Pieroni, which went on from 72 to 92. And then we got a lot of guest contributions. To make an example, Achille Bonito-Oliva, he had made interviews between 1972 and 1974. And he said, "Oh, Dora, you have to help me in the transcription," and most of it was in English, so I helped him, and I give everything to the radio. So we have wonderful material of interviews. Another contribution was Maurizio Nannucci. He had Soul Archive. He started even before us, and he made a selection of things we could integrate in our archive. We had a lot of contributions by Paolo Cotene. We missed him now a few months ago, who was the first one teaching sound art in Accademia in Italy. It was the Accademia of Frosinone. And he gave us a huge amount of sound recordings. So just to explain you a little bit where things are coming from. Now, he will help me. This is let's see the first page. It's very easy. Consulting is very easy. I don't know if you had a look to the little room. Probably yes. It's very easy to consult. You give in a keyword and you have a selection coming out. Or if you don't have a precise keyword of an artist or a critic or a writer or whatever, you can give a material, no? Help me.
Yeah, we have the timeline.
Exactly.
By the timeline,
yes.
If you want to search for an artist, and the important part is that the archive is open and it's free, and it's reachable from anywhere. Even now, if you take your phone and you write www.mpdsaudioarchive.org, you can go and search for sound to listen to sounds, and even what Dora was speaking about before, about the interview from Achille Bonito-Oliva, for example.
Yeah. I want to make 2-3 very short examples. I thought the first example, I really wanted I want to honor Cornelis. Cornelis was a very, very close friend to us. And he studied in this academy. He studied here. He was in the master class of Shaloya. He came out from here. And I thought it was nice that of the many interviews we have with Cornelis, I make a little excerpt of one. I chose an excerpt from an interview we did during the installation of a show he did in our RAM space in Rome in 2006 together with Jimmy Durham. The title of the show was Deposizione. And, installation went on for days and days and days. It was not a rush. So I want to say that Cornelis speaks in Italian, the only language Cornelis liked. He spoke Greek only with his very straight relatives in homeland, but he always wanted to speak. He said that the language of art is Italian. So this little excerpt we give it in Italian. It's, I think, 1 minute, no?
Yeah.
Io a Germano l'altro giorno lì alla normale, lui è rimasto anche male, perché mi domandato se ero io un artista internazionale. Io le ho detto no, io sono un artista locale, non sono internazionale. E l'ha detto quello direttore, che è bravissimo, perché lui dirigeva anche una parte del museo Goethe, ma perché è la verità, cioè la condizione italiana è completamente diversa, ma di tutto il resto è completamente diverso. Ecco perché c'è un grande imbarazzo. Non so, Pasolini trova l'identità e la trova nella periferia, non la trova, ma sa che sotto in questa città c'è un vecchio impero che è l'origine di emozioni e origine anche di drammaticità.
Well, he was asked if he considered himself now a famous international artist in Germany, and he said, I'm not an international, I am a local artist, I am an Italian artist. And then he speaks about about the origin of all this. This is what I wanted to.
If I heard correctly, also.
Yeah, of course. If you go on your computer, then your.
It's possible to find this interview, right?
Yeah.
Looking on the www, etc. We said MP. Yes, but there was a very good choice because of the intensity of his local Roman identity, speaking about also of Pasolini and the drama of peripheria neighbors that are somehow connected with this activity.
It was very beautiful. Gianni's, we called him all Gianni because he wanted to be called Gianni. Italianized. Gianni, he said, I came to Italy for a woman. It was the Madonna of Tiziano. So this explains you how it was. I think we make a second example and an excerpt. I choose Alvin Karan. Alvin Karan is still alive. And when we opened a little space here in the Accademia, he came and made a sound performance. But Alvin Karan is somebody very close to us, and we did a lot of projects. He's this kind of composer or sound artist, he's borderline, and he says music has to go out of concert halls, music has to go to the nature, to the towns, to the people, and in a way it was nearly obligatory that Radio Arte Mobile and Alvin started collaborations, and we did many things together. Here we have an excerpt, it's very short, of a project he did for us, an installation he did for us in Puglia, in the dolmen of Puglia. The dolmen are megalithic structures in the countryside. It's very beautiful. And we said, Alvin, why don't you make for us a prehistorical concert, concerto preistorico? And, well, he did it. We did it early in the morning at sunrise, and it was done with local people. Percussion, he realized little instruments for them, and choir and voice. So I want to give you a little excerpt of this, just to give you an idea how many things you can find. Alvin stated, I'm not trying to evoke an unknowable sound of the past, but rather I am trying to create a contemporary sound of the present, lively and recognizable to the ancestors. It's very nice, the other way around. I hope that the ancestors get it. No? So, well, this one of the many projects we did with Alvin Karan, and you find, going on Alvin Karan, you find all the references. We decided to speak also a little bit of today, because as I said, we are trying to enrich the archive, and we are getting in touch with a series of people, really very interesting people. Some you know, Cane Capovolto, for instance, they are doing a project together with us. And what we now will show you is a project of somebody very interesting in Oxford. I would like to bring this man here. His name is Stuart Fox, and he is elaborating a huge project called Cities and Memories. How does he proceed? He gives a field recording of some place and then asks people to remix, to reimagine, to elaborate this. And then at the same time, who wants to follow him can hear the source and can hear what came out. And this, I think, is very typical for a younger generation. This kind of new relationship, to remix things, to combine things, to share things, and very often not to hide the source. So what we selected here is a field recording in the Cathedral of Kiev shortly before the war, and what some of the young authors made out of it. So it's an example. I want to just to say one thing in conclusion. Listening is very important. Collective listening is very important. Of course, you can go on, you can find online all this stuff. You can hear it from your handy or from your PC. But to hear it together in a room is always a place of performing. You have bedroom, bathroom, dining room. A room is a place of performing. To have a collective listening is a totally different experience, and normally it creates dialogue, and this is exactly what we are looking after. Thank you.